One day, there were two ordinary high school students on their way home, and suddenly, a leaf passed by Taichi, and he heard the voice of a little girl calling him. In another world filled with sorcerers and enchanters, a girl was drawing a very large magic circle. A masked man entered and killed her assistant, and a drop of blood from his dagger fell onto the magic circle, disrupting it. Her other assistant attacked the masked man from behind and stabbed him. The girl screamed, and the magic circle activated. At the same time, a magic circle appeared beneath Taichi, and he noticed that it was following him. He told Rin, "Get out of it quickly," and pushed her away, but she refused to leave him alone and stepped back into the magic circle. They were transported to another world. Taichi worried about Rin and made sure she was okay. By sunset, Rin tried to use her phone to call someone, but she couldn't. Taichi said, "I don't know what kind of rural area has no signal in this day and age." He thought for a moment and then asked, "Are we even in the same world? Did you see that strange thing that looked like a magic circle? I felt a strong power coming from it, and I don't think it was just a game." But Rin refused to believe the idea and told him, "Don't say that." Suddenly, a terrifying horse appeared, and they ran away from it. It leaped at them, and Taichi quickly pushed Rin aside, saying, "This doesn't look like the usual horses we know. Is it targeting us?" He asked her, "Can you run? Get away from here as much as possible and hide. I'll be the bait, so use the chance and escape." She replied, "No. If you do that, you'll die." He said, "That's why it's better for one of us to die rather than both of us. Let your childhood friend show some bravery in a moment like this, at least." He ran toward the horse and threw a rock at it, but it had no effect. He tried to provoke the horse so it would chase him, and it worked. The horse charged at him and was about to breathe fire from its mouth. A warrior named Parada cast a wind spell and knocked it to the ground. He jumped at it with his sword and wounded it, but the horse breathed fire at him. Requeta then fired a magic arrow at it and said, "It was a wise decision to shoot my mithril arrows at this obsidian horse." Taichi asked, "Obsidian?" Requeta replied, "Do you see the horns on its head? They're made of obsidian. These are the strongest beasts in this area." Parada added, "They're just horses, but they breathe fire, eat flesh, and attack people." Michaela then entered the scene and said, "And they're worth a lot. Step back, I'll roast it." She used the flame spear and burned it. Taichi was impressed by their strength and thought to himself, "This world is exactly like an RPG game. Rin and I need to find a way to survive here." At night, Requeta asked Taichi, "Where are you two from?" Taichi was surprised and couldn't find an answer. Requeta said, "You didn't recognize the obsidian horses, and your clothes are strange, with flawless and perfect stitching." Taichi fell silent and looked at Rin, but she was very angry with him. Parada said to Requeta, "Enough with the questions. Everyone has their reasons." Michaela added, "You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to." Parada then said, "Still, it's dangerous for you to wander alone without weapons, especially in this area, since the number of monsters has increased recently." Requeta said, "That's actually a good thing for us adventurers because it creates more work." Michaela disagreed, "No, it's not good. The caravans heading to town are getting attacked, people are disappearing, and everything is getting worse lately." Taichi asked, "Did you say town?" Parada replied, "You mean Esbear?" Taichi said, "It may be selfish to ask this after you saved us, but could you take us with you?" Parada patted him on the back and said, "No need to be shy, of course, we'll take you." Michaela added, "Helping others is part of an adventurer's job." Parada then said, "But in return, you have to make up with Rin before morning." Taichi went to Rin, who was alone, and asked, "Why are you angry with me?" She replied, "I'm not angry." He said, "We've been together since childhood, and I know you stay silent when you're upset. I'm sorry if I did something to upset you." "What did I do?" She told him, "Don't do things that will get you killed alone." He replied, "That was just a moment of impulse." She said, "Don't try to show off just because you're a man. Don't leave me alone." He said, "I'm sorry. I promise, no matter what happens from now on, I won't leave you alone. If we find ourselves in trouble, we'll get out of it together." The next day, they arrived at Esbear. Requeta said, "Our town is very active, and it's an important land within the magical kingdom of Elistan. We use it as a base for our operations." He then asked, "Are you really planning to become adventurers? Just so you know, it's a very dangerous profession." Taichi replied, "We know, but we still need a job anyway." Rin added, "We'll start with what we can do and gradually build our strength." Parada gave them money and said, "This is a farewell gift. If you're going to be adventurers, you'll need proper equipment. We work out of the Mizrael Inn. If you run into trouble, come find us." They then went to the Adventurers Guild, where the receptionist welcomed them and asked, "Is your race human?" They were surprised by the question and looked around. noticing other races in the place. The receptionist said, "To understand the contract, read this." They saw a strange language but were shocked to realize they could read it. Rin said, "Thinking about it, we've been speaking with the people of this world since we arrived without any issues." The receptionist then said, "Now, we will test your magical aptitude. Magic is essential for an adventurer. If you don't have magic, you can't become one. Touch this crystal ball." Rin placed her hand on it, and different colored lights appeared. The receptionist was surprised and asked, "Rin, what exactly are you?" Then she asked Tai Chi, "Are you the same as her?" Tai Chi placed his hand on the crystal, and it shattered. The receptionist said, "Wait a moment." Tai Chi turned to Rin and said, "Does this mean we're about to face trouble?" The guild leader arrived and asked, "Are you the ones responsible for this?" He introduced himself, "I'm Gerard, the guild leader. Unfortunately, we can't register you in the guild right now." Rin asked, "Does that mean we won't be able to work?" Gerard replied, "Don't worry. We'll take you to the place where you'll find the advice you need." Rin asked, "Are you asking us to go without any explanation?" He said, "You'll understand when you get there, and if you don't go, you won't be able to become adventurers." Miura then said, "Am I really that untrustworthy?" By sunset, they arrived at Limia. She said, "I see. So the magic device at the guild couldn't withstand their power." Miura added, "Yes, so the guild leader is asking you to conduct the test yourself." Limia handed them 2 pieces of tree wood and said, "This measures magical capacity." She activated it, looked at Tai Chi's piece, and was shocked. Miura exclaimed, "What are these numbers?" Tai Chi got worried and asked, "Does this mean we can become adventurers?" Limia replied, "Of course, but from today, you will be my students." That night, in an unknown location, 2 people were speaking. One asked, "Do you mean the summoning was really disrupted?" The other replied, "Yes, but the summoner was strong, so the spell activated despite being distorted." He then asked, "And the search for the lost ones?" The other replied, "We've set up a net all over the town, and I believe we'll receive a report in the next few days." The first person then said, "Our leader has high expectations. Do your best." At the same time, Limia told Tai Chi, "Your magic capacity is 120,000, and your magic power is 40,000. Rin's capacity is 37,000, and her power is 5,000. These numbers are truly astonishing. Normally, people have a magic capacity of 10,000, and if their magic power exceeds 2,000, they can become royal knights or sorcerers. Miura told them, "Limia is the strongest sorceress in the free kingdom of Elistan." Limia then said, "My magic capacity is 43,000, and my power is 6,000. Miura's capacity is 35,000, and her power is 3,800. Do you understand now why you will be my students? You both possess incredible power, but you don't know how to use it practically. Compared to me, you are like infants." Miura added, "Proper training requires using magic power, and the stronger you are, the more intense your training will be. If you want to learn to control your magic, you will be at risk of destroying yourselves." Tai Chi asked her, "What will happen if we train and master our magic?" Limia replied, "You will surpass the highest rank of S-class adventurers and even the best royal sorcerers. Depending on your training, Tai Chi, you might be able to wage war against entire nations alone and wipe them out if you wish." The next morning, as they sat for breakfast, Limia told them, "We will begin by explaining magic." Miura said, "Magic is a power we gain in exchange for supplying spirits with magical energy." Rin asked, "Does that mean sorcerers cannot cast spells without relying on these spirits?" Limia replied, "That's correct. Fire, water, wind, and earth are the 4 types of spirits, meaning these 4 attributes exist within magic itself." Rin asked, "So the spirit you supply with magical energy determines the type of spell you cast?" Limia said, "Exactly. You're very perceptive, Rin." She continued, "Sorcerers don't choose which attribute they use because the spirits choose the sorcerers. Usually, a sorcerer can only wield a single attribute, and we call them monotypes. But in rare cases, a person can use multiple attributes, like Miura." Miura said, "I am a dual-type sorceress who can use fire and earth attributes." Limia added, "And I am a tri-type sorceress who can use fire, water, and wind." But Rin, you are a quad-type sorceress, able to use all attributes, which is extremely rare. Tai Chi got excited and asked, "And what about my attributes?" Limia told him, "I don't know. We discovered that you are an enchanter, not a sorcerer. In other words, a unique type of sorcerer. Sorcerers use magic, but enchanters use enchantment." Rin asked, "What's the difference between them?" Miura explained, an enchanter casts magic by borrowing the power of spirits. A sorcerer recites the appropriate spell and borrows power from the spirits, but enchantment doesn't require that. Limia added, an enchanter uses the spirits themselves, not just their power. Because of this, enchanters form pacts with spirits where one commands and the other is subjected to the will. The strength produced by this bond surpasses what sorcerers possess by far. You will have the power to destroy nations by yourself. Do you understand what that means? Tai Chi replied, I don't want any involvement with nations, authority, or any trouble. Limia told him, that's not something the strongest man in the world should say. You will learn everything about your power in due time. So until that happens, train seriously. They went to start their training, and Limia explained things to Tai Chi, but he was extremely exhausted and struggled to keep up. Suddenly, he heard a child's voice say, good luck. Limia asked him, what's wrong? He asked, did you just say something? She replied, no. At the same time, Miura told Rin, you need to visualize your magic and understand why and how fire burns. It's important to create a strong image of it in your mind. Then, say fire, as this is the signal that will convey the image to the spirits. Once you get used to it, you won't need to say it anymore. Rin answered the questions in her mind. Fire burns because of the chemical reaction known as combustion. It requires a flammable material, such as fuel or oxygen, to ignite. She successfully created fire on her first attempt, and Miura was amazed. Rin then said, I have an idea. You taught me that fire is a magical concept, and its image is usually the burning of wood or oil. But I think it would be stronger if we burned something different, like gas. The fire turned blue and became more intense. Miura was astonished and thought to herself, this isn't mentioned in any magic book. By sunset, Rin found Tai Chi lying on the ground and told him, don't give up. You can do this. He got up and tried again, and he heard the child's voice saying, your magic power is a mass at the center of your body. His hand began to glow, and the child's voice continued, I want to see you soon, Tai Chi. Rin asked him, is this your magic power? He asked her, did you hear a child's voice? She replied, no, I didn't hear anything. He told her, I heard a voice from somewhere, and it helped me. They entered Limia's place, and she told Tai Chi, tomorrow, we will work on your left hand. He replied, but I want to try using magic. She told him, no. The first thing you need to do is enhance your body's functions with your magic power. Even though you will continuously consume your magic power while enhancing, you have 120,000, so a lot will remain even if you use some. Anyway, until we figure out your attribute as a unique sorcerer, this will be your primary combat method. No spells, just enhance and strike. That night, Miura asked Limia, what do you think about them? Their magic power is unbelievable, and they managed to manifest it in a single day. They're not ordinary humans. Limia, you know something, don't you? Limia replied, actually, I have a suspicion. The situation has been dangerous in this area lately. It's hard to believe that the problems of the royal capital would extend this far, but the guild leader said something like that. In any case, we will complete their training within a month or 3 weeks. At the very least, we will train them enough so they can rely on themselves as adventurers. Miura asked, only 3 weeks? Limia replied, yes. Their very presence is a risk. If news about their power spreads, they will fall into trouble, so we must teach them no matter what. After 3 weeks, Tai Chi faced a wolf and thought to himself, enhancing my body to level 10 or 15 should be enough. He attacked the wolf with his fist and defeated it. Rin faced a large number of wild rabbits, so she used rock bullets to push them back and combined water and lightning magic to eliminate them. Miura told Limia, Rin is talented and understands everything I teach her at an incredible speed. And not just that, she can suddenly adapt and create her own magic. Honestly, I've been learning more from her lately. Suddenly, an obsidian horse appeared. Rin said, we're not the same as we were before, and Tai Chi added, there's no way we'll lose. They defeated it. At lunchtime, Limia told them, congratulations. You have passed the graduation test. Miura said, we will send you to Esbear tomorrow. Rin said, that's right, our original goal was to become adventurers. Limia told them, there is nothing else I need to teach you. I'm sure you've already realized it, but you're lost. I've read about this before. People coming to our world from other worlds. Something that triggers a rift in spacetime is what brings those people here. Either that, or an enchanter in this world summoned them. Tai Chi was shocked and recalled the magic circle that appeared beneath them. Limia told him, judging by your reaction, I believe your case is the latter. Tai Chi was surprised and asked, you knew? She replied, who do you think I am? Your magic power is unnatural, and you occasionally use unfamiliar terminology, so of course, I figured it out. Miura told them, because you are strangers to this world, Limia decided it would be best to train you here. Limia told them, you need to find the enchanter who summoned you here and ask them why. But summoning magic is considered one of the highest levels of magic, and not only that, it is restricted to enchanters who can manipulate space and time, and they are extremely rare. After the celebration, Tai Chi told Rin, we've finally become adventurers. And thank you for what you did when I was summoned. Neither of us understood what was happening, and if I had come to this world alone, I probably would have died. I was able to stand up and face the obsidian horse back then because you were with me. Maybe I'm the one who doesn't want to be alone. Anyway, we can earn money now, and we've gotten to know this world well. So first, we'll go on adventures, earn money, and settle down, and after that, we'll search for the enchanter who summoned us and make them send us back to our world. Agreed? That night, he thought to himself, the power to destroy nations. Do I really possess something like that? Suddenly, he heard the child's voice calling him again, saying, we'll be able to meet soon. He asked, what do you mean? She replied, I'm looking forward to it. He asked, where are you? She laughed, and a green light passed in front of him before disappearing. Tai Chi dreamed that he was in a field somewhere and heard the child's laughter. He asked, are you here? Who are you? And why do you keep calling me? She replied, I will be waiting. He asked, waiting for what? She said, soon, Tai Chi. He woke up and thought to himself, that dream again? 2 weeks ago, Rin and I returned to Esbear and registered as adventurers. We met the people who helped us, and now we spend our days completing simple tasks as E-rank adventurers. We've gotten used to living in this world. And now, it's time for another day of work. He went to Rin at the cafe, where she was reading a book, thinking to herself, the magical kingdom of Elistain is located in the north of the western continent and possesses the most advanced magic in this world. Its population is 20 million, with 80% capable of using basic magic. This massive population is one of the reasons why the magical kingdom of Elistain is one of the 3 great nations in this world. Tai Chi entered and said, you're very diligent. Rin replied, if we're going to be adventurers, we need to have some basic knowledge about the countries. Tai Chi said, I heard that Esbear is called a border town, and the royal capital, Winifix, is very far from here. Rin replied, that's right, but to the east, there are borders with the Scatolis Empire and the Garjin Empire. That's why this city is prosperous. Its location is vital for trade and information exchange within Elistain. The restaurant owner approached and told Tai Chi, a message arrived for you from the guild. He opened it and found a summons. Tai Chi and Rin went to the guild leader, who handed them a job request, an investigation regarding a cafe in the slums. The guild leader explained, recently, we've heard about stolen goods from shops and caravans being smuggled into the city through the slums. Tai Chi asked, but isn't this a D-rank mission? The receptionist said, according to guild regulations, a group of adventurers can accept a request 1 rank higher than their classification. Rin noted, there are 2 X marks on this request. That means adventurers have failed it twice, right? And if there's a 3rd failure? The guild leader confirmed, yes, in that case, we would assign C-rank adventurers and pay additional compensation for our misjudgment. In any case, you are Limia's students, and your abilities are trusted. Your mentor said your power defies logical understanding. If you succeed, you will be promoted to D-rank. They accepted the mission. On their way, Tai Chi said, we won't be able to investigate properly until nightfall. Rin replied, we've been working non-stop recently. Tai Chi added, and I've been following Limia's rule not to use body enhancements outside of combat. She insisted I keep them below level 30. Rin replied, I can't blame her. If you raised it higher than that, you wouldn't be human. She noticed her favorite fruit at a vendor's stall and asked about the price, realizing it was extremely expensive. She said, it was half this price a week ago. The vendor apologized, there's a shortage of Melia right now, and I'm still trying to sell it as cheaply as I can. But shipments aren't arriving even though I ordered them. Recently, there's been a sudden drop in the caravans transporting food to the town. And between us, there are rumors that monsters are attacking them on the way here. And it's not just Melia, there's a shortage of most goods in the market. I don't care whether it's because of monsters or something else. I just want them to solve this problem quickly. That night, they entered the cafe and told the owner, we heard some rumors that we might be able to buy some goods here that aren't available in the market. The owner replied, what do you mean? Rin said, you know, the market is in trouble due to shortages, which is driving up prices. That's why we thought of doing some business, buying goods and selling them on the black market. The owner responded, no, this isn't something for beginners. Rin placed a bag full of money on the table and said, but we came here because we heard that you sell anything for the right price. Everyone in the cafe was shocked by the amount of money. Rin whispered to Tai Chi, if this were a movie, he would take the bait now. Tai Chi replied, fiction is fiction. Rin said, it looks like we lured them out instead. Tai Chi and Rin attacked, making everyone fearful. One of the men said, I don't know. We were asked to do this by a man we met here. He said he had a good job for us, and we didn't ask his name. When we went to the designated location, the attack had already happened, and only the carriage and its cargo remained. Another said, we just brought the goods into the town, nothing more. We don't know what happened to them afterward. We only took a small amount. The owner of the cafe told Tai Chi and Rin, that's enough. It's true that this cafe sold the stolen goods these people brought, but that's normal around here. Don't get involved in what doesn't concern you. That's the law here. As they left, Rin said, we didn't get enough information. Tai Chi replied, and they weren't the type who could defeat D-rank adventurers. They noticed someone following them. 3 assassins appeared in front of them. Tai Chi attacked one, slamming her hard against the wall. Another lunged at him, but Rin pushed her back with wind magic. Tai Chi said, sorry, before knocking her unconscious to take her as a hostage for interrogation. He then turned to the last one and said, you're the only one acting like a general, making your subordinates fight for you. The tables have turned. What will you do now? Suddenly, one of them threw a smoke bomb, and 2 escaped, leaving only the one Tai Chi had knocked unconscious. The next day, the guild leader entered the room where the captured assassin was held and told her, usually, assassins who fail their mission have 2 choices, either wait for their comrades to silence them or take their own lives. But don't worry, you were brought here in secret, so your comrades won't come. She was surprised and thought to herself, why? At the same time, Tai Chi and Rin arrived at the cafe and found Miura there. They explained everything to her. Miura said, the situation is much worse than I expected, but at least I can solve Rin's favorite Malia fruit issue. I came to meet you to form a party with you. What do you think about teaming up with me? They agreed. Miura told them, the Malia fruit in the northern forest is ready for harvest, but there's been a series of incidents recently. Thieves have been stealing it, causing a severe shortage, which is why the price has skyrocketed. The culprit has a powerful sorcerer protecting him, so the farmers can't resist. A request was sent to the guild to guard the Malia fields, capture the culprit, and defeat the sorcerer. They rode a carriage with Miura and set off on their mission. Miura thought to herself, I never imagined I'd form a party with anyone before. When they arrived at the village, the farmers, Magil, Laity, and Kashim, welcomed them. When Kashim shook hands with Tai Chi felt something strange. Later, at the field, Rin sensed a signal and said, something is approaching. And it's not human. 3 goblins and a large ogre appeared. Miura charged at the goblins, cutting them down one by one with her sword. Tai Chi punched the massive ogre with an enhancement level of 35, shattering its head. That night, Miura told Rin and Tai Chi, goblins and ogres don't usually live in the northern forest. Rin asked, you mean today's attack was likely orchestrated by someone? Miura replied, it's too soon to jump to conclusions. We need to see how our enemy acts to determine that. At the same time, a girl stood in the field, having killed many animals and gathered their energy in her hands. She said, this should be enough to feed him. Maybe I'll wait until tomorrow for the excitement. Wait for me, adventurers, I will eliminate you. The next day, the guild leader entered the prisoner's cell and asked, have you decided what to do? She replied, yes, I have decided. At the same time, Miura and the others were conducting a patrol and found traces of a camp in the field, still warm. Rin's magic staff gave a signal that they were still there. She told them, there are 3 of them, and this time, they're human. They found them, but the sorcerer guarding them wasn't with them. Tai Chi told them, don't resist. If you do, I won't show any mercy. They got scared and surrendered. One of them said, of all days, today is the one where the sorceress isn't with us. Another replied, that traitor always appears and disappears out of nowhere. If she were here, these annoying adventurers wouldn't have been able to do anything. Magil and Laity took them to the prison, and Kashim shook hands with Tai Chi, saying, thank you. Tai Chi replied, your hands are strangely soft. Harvesting Malia is hard work. Magil and Laity's hands are rough and calloused from their daily farming labor, but you don't have a single scratch. Kashim said, actually, I'm the overseer. Miura said, and that's not all. You knew about the goblins and the ogre, didn't you? Rin added, it's unusual for a farmer who has never worked as an adventurer to recognize goblins and ogres. Tai Chi asked, who are you? Kashim smirked and said, you barely managed to figure it out. Yes, I was the one who sent the goblins and the ogre. I was the one who convinced the men to steal the Melia fruit. And I was the one who made the farmers send a request to the guild. Miura asked, why did you do all of this? Kashim replied, to lure the three of you here. I needed to test your abilities, and you amazed me. Especially you, Taichi, you were incredible, but also naive. A woman wearing a cloak of concealment appeared. Her name was Grammy. She said to Kashim, you talk too much. Kashim said, I'll leave the girls to you. I'll handle the boy. Rin launched a fireball at Grammy, but she dodged it. Miura attacked with her sword, but Grammy blocked her strike. Miura asked, if you could conceal yourself, why didn't you attack back then? Grammy replied, are you stupid? I have no interest in petty assassinations. What I desire is a clash between lives. She lunged at Miura, who parried her attack and thought, this woman is obsessed with battle. Miura pushed her back, and Rin fired another fireball, but Grammy countered it with wind magic. Rin used wind magic to create a whirlwind to buy Miura time to enhance her body. But Grammy dispelled the whirlwind and was shocked to see Rin using earth and water as well. She asked, you're activating two attributes at the same time? At the same time, Taichi asked Kashim, was that woman their guard? Kashim replied, yes, but you will face me. Taichi asked, you're unarmed? You'll fight with your hands? Kashim said, of course not. He summoned a wolf made of frost. Taichi said, you're underestimating me. He jumped at the wolf with his fist, but his attack passed through it. Kashim said, what do you think? Like I told you, this is a creature made of frost. Since it's an element, it has no physical form, so physical attacks won't work on it. But its attacks will work on you. Attacking it with your sword won't work either, though you could use it to defend yourself at least. Even though you defeated an ogre with a single punch, there's no way to fight the frost element. At the same time, Miura attacked Grammy, but Grammy blocked her strike. Rin thought, at this rate, Miura will just exhaust herself. She launched rocks and water, but Grammy maneuvered Miura into their path. Rin quickly dispelled her magic, but Grammy took advantage of Miura's distraction and punched her hard in the stomach. She then lunged at Rin, who used wind magic to push her back, but Grammy pierced through the wind with her sword. Meanwhile, Taichi cut off the wolf's leg with his sword, but it regenerated. Kashim said, are you wishing those two girls were here? Both of them use fire magic and could defeat the frost element, but it seems you can't use magic. Your only advantage is your physical abilities. Taichi asked, what are you after? Kashim replied, I've measured your strength. Now it's time to move on to the second phase. The wolf consumed the energy orb that Grammy had gathered the night before. Its power increased, its color turned red, and it charged at Taichi, sending him flying. Taichi tried to get up but coughed up blood. Kashim said, it looks like your enhancement couldn't keep up with the red element. I won't kill you, you're too valuable. Taichi asked, are you planning to force me to do something? Kashim replied, I don't know yet, but I will capture the two girls fighting Grammy as hostages. I need your power, and to obtain it, I need restraints to make you obey me. Those two will be those restraints. At the same time, Rin and Miura were on the ground, unable to move. Grammy said, I finally got excited, but this fight is over. Miura replied, you're really strong. She and Rin stood up and said, but that was just a test. Now, we begin our real plan. Miura attacked Grammy with her sword. Grammy blocked every strike and said, this is your new plan? It's the same as before. Rin suddenly rushed in with a lightning sword. Grammy jumped back to evade, but Miura was already waiting at her landing spot and kicked her. Grammy hit the ground, and Rin didn't give her a chance to recover. She conjured a stone sword and struck down with both blades, piercing Grammy with the lightning sword. Then Rin activated the whirlwind technique. Grammy said, that same trick again? Rin replied, not the same. If I spread something flammable inside the whirlwind and ignite it, it will explode. Miura attacked from behind and slashed Grammy with her sword. Later, Grammy regained consciousness and said, I admit I lost today. But when my wound heals and I become stronger, we'll have a rematch. Kashim appeared and said to Grammy, you lost? Rin and Miura were shocked. Kashim said, you'd better stop if you care about your friend. Taichi was beneath the wolf's paw, unconscious. Kashim said, his abilities are truly on another level. I can't believe he fought the red element with just his bare hands this entire time. Taichi regained consciousness and said, you bastard. The wolf stomped on him again. Kashim asked, will you accept defeat and do as I say? Taichi thought to himself, I won't let you take them hostage because of me. He lost consciousness and saw a green light. A child's voice asked him, do you want power? He replied, yes. I want to protect Rin and Miura. She said, I'll give it to you, but remember, this time is an exception. I'm breaking the rules to do this, so it will be extremely painful, like dying. Will you take it? He said, yes, I'll take it. I'll endure anything to defeat that man. She said, understood. I will grant it to you. My name is Ariel, Spirit of Wind. Tai Chi stood up, surrounded by a whirlwind. Kashim was shocked and said, he can still stand. He ordered the red element to attack, and Tai Chi was sent flying. Tai Chi laughed and said, this really is cheating. I didn't feel any pain from that hit. He looked at Kashim and said, you said you'd harm Rin and Miura. I'm going to end you. Kashim ordered the red element to breathe fire, but Tai Chi unleashed a stronger wind and destroyed it. Kashim and Grammy fled. At sunset, Kashim clutched his severed arm and said to Grammy, he got me. She asked, did you achieve your goal? He replied, yes. That boy is far stronger than we imagined. She said, that's a monster. There's no way that power belongs to a human. The next day, Limia tells Tai Chi, you have exhausted all your magical power and have been asleep for a whole week. Usually, you can recover the consumed magical power overnight, but when it is completely depleted, it takes a long time to regenerate it from the beginning. Rin and Miura thought you were unconscious due to the injury, so they brought a doctor to examine you, and he told them the same thing. But as the days passed, on the third day, they couldn't wait any longer, so they brought you here. They are investigating something in town right now. Tai Chi asks her what exactly happened in the northern forest, and when he tells her, she says, just as I expected. The Crimson Covenant. This is magic that consumes the blood of humans and monsters and is considered forbidden due to its brutality. Feeding anything to the sphere infused with this magic allows it to drain dozens of times more than their usual magical power. Tai Chi replies, I thought I was done for at that moment. But then, Ariel spoke to me. Limia is surprised and asks, are you sure that's what the voice told you? I can't believe it. Tai Chi asks her, can you explain? She tells him, remember when I told you that you are a unique magician who uses sorcery instead of magic, and that we don't know what your attribute is? He replies, yes. She says, now things have become clearer. At the same time, Kashim is kneeling before someone, who tells him, the matter was worth the great sacrifice you made, Kashim. And now, I have another task for you. It will be just a small prank, a trivial matter with no strategic importance, although I think it will ease your anger a little. He approaches Grammy, and Kashim says, but she has played her role sufficiently. The man replies, no, it wasn't enough. He grabs her hand and places a spider seal on it, saying, we need you to continue as a pawn for Kashim, so I made some modifications. He then tells Kashim, this is the first step toward what is about to happen, the first major step in achieving our goal. Meanwhile, Limia and Tai Chi go to the cafe, where she tells him, you are a summoner. You form a covenant with specific spirits and gain the right to use stronger magic based on your bond with them. In our world, spirits are the highest beings, even above dragons, and because of that, they are invisible to us. There is also another difference between summoners and magicians. Spirits perform magic on behalf of the summoner using their full power. Tai Chi replies, that sounds like cheating. Later, he goes looking for Rin and Miura. On his way, he sees two men harassing a girl, so he intervenes to stop them. She escapes from them and says, you're too late. Tai Chi strikes them, causing them to flee. She thanks him for saving her, but he says, I think you could have handled it yourself. When that guy grabbed you, you slipped away easily without even using your strength. You kept up with me effortlessly when you saw me, but more importantly, you didn't flinch when I sent one of them flying. She responds, I knew you would notice. We met before, and you knocked me unconscious with a single punch to the stomach. I'm Anastasia, the former assassin you captured. She takes him to a place filled with guards, and they attack. Tai Chi asks her, does this mean you have joined the guild now? She replies, yes. An assassin who fails a mission has no other choice. He asks, and you investigated the matter of stolen food and goods that we were looking into? I'm surprised you found all that out. They defeat the last two guards at the door of a room and enter. Tai Chi asks her, what is the evidence? He finds the paper that Kashim's leader had left for him in the same room. That night, Rin and Miura are in the market when a strange man attacks them. They dodge the strike, and Miura counters with her sword, but he blocks it. Rin fires water bullets at him, but he evades them. She then uses wind magic, but another enemy nullifies it and attacks them with flame magic. Rin uses a shield to protect Miura. They look up and see 3 people on the rooftop. Miura says, 2 against 4. Grammy removes her invisibility cloak and says, no, 5. She strikes Miura, knocking her unconscious, then takes her and says to Rin, these are the boss's orders, don't blame me. She leaves, while the other 4 prevent Rin from chasing her. At the same time, Tai Chi and Anastasia are walking through a tunnel built using earth magic. Tai Chi says, if what's written on the paper is true, then a tribe of goblins enhanced by the Crimson Covenant is hiding here beneath Esbear. Then they find a door. Tai Chi reaches out to open it, but Anastasia stops him and says, it could be trapped. She unlocks it with a piece of metal and says, it's safe. Meanwhile, Rin defeats the 4 enemies when Grammy appears and says, I don't intend to fight you. Your friend is in this building. Rin asks her, then why are you telling me this? Grammy responds, first, I didn't deceive you because I wanted to, but you are both my prey, and I won't let either of you disappear. So, go save her quickly. My boss plans to use the Crimson Covenant on her. Rin flies toward the building at full speed. She opens the door and finds a group drawing a magic circle with Miura bound in the center. One of them asks, are you her friend? She demands, what are you doing to her? He replies, she will be our sacrifice. Rin slams him into the wall with wind magic, then uses a freezing technique to immobilize the remaining mage's legs. She casts earth magic to break the magic circle and freeze Miura. Then Kashim and his leader enter the room. Rin asks, are you responsible for all of this? The leader replies, yes, but I didn't come here to fight you. I came to inform you that an army of 3,000 monsters will attack this town. That's more than enough to destroy everything. Kashim adds, unfortunately, your boy won't be coming, because we've prepared a different stage for him. Their leader says, how long will you be able to defend the town? I'm curious to find out. Then they walk away. On their way, Kashim says to the leader, it's a heinous act to attack the city from both inside and outside. The leader laughs and says, you're saying that now? More importantly, how many are ready? Kashim replies, 500 underground and 200 above. The leader says, 500 is enough considering the boy's strength. Kashim asks, are you really sure about all this? The leader replies, according to my calculations, the project has a 90% success rate, and I think that's enough for us to sacrifice. By now, the monsters should have occupied the northern fortress, and the battle will be at dawn. At the same time, a massive rock monster attacks Anastasia, but Tai Chi stops its fist. He jumps at it, breaks its arms with a punch, then smashes it completely with both fists. A door in front of them opens, and the 2 girls who were with Kashim's leader appear, saying, welcome to Milo and Milo's room. Meanwhile, Rin and Miura go to inform the guild leader about what is going to happen. He asks them, did he propose any demands to stop the attack? Rin replies, no. The way he spoke, it seemed like his goal was to destroy the city entirely. He tells Mary, the receptionist, summon all adventurers and guards. Miura says, I think they were also behind the stolen goods. The guild leader replies, then they were trying to reduce the city's supplies to make the siege easier. Lemia enters and says, I'll join you. I detected some strange magical forces in the north, so I came, but I didn't expect it to be something like this. At the same time, Tai Chi asks Milo and Milo, is this thing around us your creation? They reply, yes, and we also created the rock monster you destroyed. He asks, and what do you plan to do now? Milo says, we'll wake up the goblins and release them into the city. He asks, do you know what will happen if you do that? They reply, yes. The goblins have orders to kill and eat everyone. He asks, won't you be in danger too? They say, impossible. We have this crystal, and we can give the goblins orders with it. They use it to command the goblins to awaken, and they attack Tai Chi, but he kills them with his fists. He thinks to himself, if I enhance myself too much, I'll destroy the entire room. I have to restrain myself a little. Milo and Milo scream as the goblins attack them, and the crystal falls from their hands and shatters. Tai Chi saves them and says, I told you this would happen. Do you understand what you've done? They reply, we're sorry. He asks, how many of them are there? They reply, there are many rooms like this all over the city. He picks them up and places them next to Anastasia, then charges at the goblins. At the same time, Lemia says, there are 3,000 monsters on their way to the town. The front lines consist mainly of forest beasts like fen wolves, while the orcs and ghouls are in the rear to deliver the final blow. We need to launch a wide-range fire attack to eliminate the weak ones so our forces can focus on the ghouls and orcs. Rin asks, we only need to take out the front lines, right? Lemia replies, yes. Rin says, I have a plan. The next day, Lemia tells Miura, trust what Rin told us. I don't know how advanced the science in her world is. She remembers Rin saying, I will combine earth, water, and fire magic to create a massive explosion. It's called an internal explosion, like a volcanic eruption. As the monsters approach, Rin uses earth magic to create a huge pit, making the frontline monsters fall in. She then uses water magic to flood them before using earth and fire magic to form a giant metal sphere, dropping it into the pit, causing a massive explosion. The guild leader orders the rest of the forces to attack. Kashim and his leader watch from a distance. The leader says, the fun is about to begin now. Your fate awaits you. At the same time, Taichi, Anastasia, and Milo arrive at the guild leader's tent. The Crimson Covenant enhanced monsters reach the battlefield, including 3 massive ghouls. Lemia attacks the goblins with fire magic and tells Rin and Miura, hold them off for 30 seconds. I'll prepare a big move now and change the course of the battle with one strike. Miura and Rin try to buy her time as Lemia prepares the spell. At the same time, Taichi asks the guild leader, where are Rin and Miura? Suddenly, they feel a powerful earthquake. Taichi tells Anastasia, stay here and help the adventurers protect the city. At the same time, Lemia's attack wipes out all the goblins, leaving only the 3 ghouls. They all attack the ghouls together, but their attacks have no effect. Rin starts to feel weak and collapses to the ground, saying, if we fail, I know Taichi will come and protect the town. We won't lose to you, because Taichi is strong. I don't know why I never told him that before. The ghoul raises its fist to strike her, but Taichi suddenly appears and says, why don't you tell me now? He stops the ghoul's fist, and he pushes the ogre, grabs its leg, and knocks it to the ground, then comes down with his fist to finish it off. He says to Milo, cover my back until I take down the remaining ogres. Kashim's leader says, that boy is amazing, thinking of eliminating all these demons in just one night. Kashim replies, at this stage, he surpasses humans. The leader says, that's why we needed this test, and the trick that will end this festival is already prepared. In the end, that man uncovered everything, every possibility. Kashim says, so we're just tools for this purpose? The leader replies, yes. You, me, and them. No one can oppose that man's will. Meanwhile, one of the adventurers goes to the guild leader with a report and says, most of the red beasts have been subdued thanks to the tactical level magic of the falling leaves witch. The guild leader says, Lemia finally unleashed it. The adventurer replies, but the red wolves, which we thought were the leaders, remain unaffected, and the ogres are currently engaged in battle with the young adventurer who went to help. The guild leader asks, and Taichi? The adventurer replies, he's fighting them with even greater power, but he's 1 against 3, so I don't think we can be optimistic. Anastasia thinks to herself, he was the only one who treated me as a person, not a tool. Inside the tent, the adventurers thank Anastasia, saying, thanks for helping us when there were so many monsters outside. She thinks to herself, I've stained my hands with assassination, but I wish I had a chance to start over. I'll trust Taichi the same way he believed in me. A disguised person walks past her and whispers something, causing her to move unconsciously. At the same time, Barada, Rikita, and Michaela attack the demons, while Rin and Miura continue fighting despite the amount of magic power they have consumed. Lemia burns the creatures enhanced by the Crimson Pact, and Milo assist Rin and Miura. Taichi dodges the ogre's punch, strikes its chin, and knocks it down. The second ogre tries to hit him with a hammer, but he vanishes and appears behind it, kicking its neck, making it collapse to the ground before finishing them off so they won't rise again. Suddenly, he feels an earthquake, jumps into the air, and the ground cracks beneath him. Lemia says, impossible. These creatures never interfere in battles between humans and monsters. A 2-headed dragon emerges from beneath, breathing fire into the sky. Kashim asks the leader, did you know about this? The leader replies, yes, and now all the necessary pieces are finally in place. This is where the real battle begins. It's time to measure his power. Taichi says to the others, I can't believe all this chaos awakened a dragon that was dormant underground. Lemia replies, no, nothing would make it leave its lair. A war on the surface is no more than the flutter of an insect's wing to dragons. Taichi tells them, we can't run in this situation. Lemia, take everyone to the city and prepare for evacuation just in case. Rin steps closer to him and says, I'm with you. He replies, do what you want, but don't interfere. She asks, why? He says, I won't have any time in this fight. If it targets you, I'll react instinctively, and that will likely be my end. He approaches the dragon, and the dragon says, "You came?" Tai Chi replies, "Sorry for being late." He tries calling out to Ariel inside his mind, but she doesn't respond. Losing hope, he strengthens himself and attacks the dragon with his fist, but it easily blocks and knocks him away. Tai Chi charges forward, dodging the dragon's fireballs, but the dragon swipes him away with its tail and forms a fireball near Rin, signaling for her not to interfere. As Tai Chi struggles to get up, Anastasia appears. He asks, "What are you doing here?" She snaps back to her senses and asks, "Why am I here?" Suddenly, the dragon fires a flame ball at them, and Anastasia pushes Tai Chi aside, taking the hit instead. She wakes up and says to Tai Chi, "Sorry, but this was my fault." He replies, "It's definitely not your fault. The fact that you're alive is enough. Hold on, I'll finish this and take you to a healer." She says, "Thank you. You were the only one who treated me like a human. If I survive, please." But then she sees Rin and thinks to herself, "I know my feelings aren't mutual." She asks him, "Can we be friends?" He says, "What are you talking about? We're already friends." But then she dies. Tai Chi screams, remembering when he told her he wouldn't let her die, and thinks to himself, after telling her that, "I thought everything would be fine because of my tricks, but I was naive. I didn't take anything seriously, and in the end, I couldn't do anything. Give me power. Hurry, why have you been silent all this time? You're here, aren't you?" Ariel responds, "Yes, this is the strong emotion I needed from you, Tai Chi." Suddenly, he finds himself in a field, standing before Ariel. She says, "I'm sorry. I couldn't do anything. I'm a spirit, and you're a summoner. Spirits can't use their power without a summoner's command. That's the law of this world, and we can never break it." He says, "But you did it before." She replies, "That was an exception because your life was in danger, but it wasn't an official pact." "I'm sorry." He tells her, "No, it's not your fault. It was my mistake for failing to protect Anastasia. I didn't have the resolve to accept your power. I got what I deserved because I thought this was all just tricks and arrogance. A part of me was afraid of bearing a power beyond human limits. But I understand now. I want to protect everyone. Give me your power." She says, "As you command. From now on, call me Ari." He tells Rin, "Take care of Anastasia. She was a dear friend." He rises, activates Ari's power, and tells Rin, "I am now a summoner." The dragon says, "I respect your courage." Tai Chi replies, "I want to ask you something. Why does the dragon race interfere in a war like this? What is your goal? What will make you withdraw from this battle?" The dragon answers, "In that case, show me your true power, and I will answer your question and leave this place." The dragon takes flight, and its two heads unleash fire at him, but he counters with wind and manages to defeat them. The dragon says, "I'll answer you. I intervened in this battle because of a certain person. The goal was to fight you, and I'll give you one last warning. That person will continue to guide you from now on. But it is important for this land and the world. I accepted their request because I agree with their beliefs. So make sure you don't forget, if you want to protect what is dear to you, you must be strong." Meanwhile, Kashim's leader stands before the mastermind behind everything and says, "The test was a success. The boy made an official pact with the wind spirit." She says, "Then I must prepare for his next guidance quickly." After the damage caused by the battle, the town returned to normal. Tai Chi went to visit Anastasia's grave, then headed to Lemia's house and showed them Ariel. Lemia said, "So now you can summon a spirit and manifest it easily? You've improved a lot." They saw a carriage approaching. Lemia said, "That's an envoy from the royal family." She introduced herself, saying, "I am Alcina Norman, daughter of Marquis Norman, and I have come on behalf of His Majesty King Gilmar." Lemia said, "I've heard some suspicious rumors." Alcina replied, "I have come to ask for your help. Can you come with me to the royal capital, Winifex?" Indeed, they accompanied her. On the way, she told them, 30 years ago, the magical kingdom of Elistine was ruled by two opposing factions, supporters of the current king and those of his younger brother. While His Majesty gained power through diplomacy and pre-established relations with other nations, his brother, Duke Dordesheim, constantly opposed him. During all of this, the king sent mages abroad as part of his foreign policy, but the younger brother's faction believed that allowing our mages to take their knowledge beyond our borders would weaken our nation's dominance. Lemia deduced, "So they finally united in rebellion?" Alcina replied, "Yes, and their revolt has begun as we speak. A war could break out at any moment, leaving us in a very unstable situation. That's why we summoned you all." Tai Chi asked, "So you want us to join the battle?" When they arrived at the capital, they found the streets empty, with people staying inside their homes. Alcina told them, "We've been like this for a long time." Lemia asked, "Did the king say anything about Tai Chi and Rin?" Alcina replied, "Not specifically, but he insisted that I bring them here no matter what." Suddenly, Rin and Tai Chi sensed an attack. Tai Chi grabbed Alcina and caught the arrow that had been fired at her. The archer who shot the arrow later went to Duke Dordesheim and said, "I'm sorry, I failed." The Duke replied, "So the previous reports weren't false." Alcina and the others arrived at the king's chamber, where everyone stared at them coldly, offering no welcome. Alcina introduced them, "This is Bella Livoma, head of the royal mages. This is General Sumala, supreme commander of the royal army. And this is Queen Charlotte Eli Stein." The king entered and said, "Raise your heads. I am Gilmar. I have heard of your achievements in the Battle of Esbear." Lemia said, "Enough with the introductions, Gilmar. Get to the point." Everyone was shocked by her rude manner of speaking to the king. The king ordered Sumala and Bella to leave with their soldiers, then said to Lemia, "You haven't changed at all." She replied, "Neither have you. I heard the details, and it seems the situation with Dordesheim is unstable. I can help you, but we have conditions. If you don't accept them, we'll return to Esbear." The king said, "All right. We will meet your demands." She replied, "Agreed. But I need to confirm something important. Answer me honestly. You summoned Tai Chi and Rin to this world, didn't you? You were desperate and needed someone with immense magical power as weapons to suppress the rebellion." The king admitted, "Yes, you're right. I was the one who summoned you. I'm sorry for doing so." Tai Chi responded, "Sorry? Because of you, Rin and I had our lives stolen suddenly. And we almost died, and now you brought us here just to kill some people for you?" Miura told the king, "I apologize for his tone, but Tai Chi and Rin came from a peaceful world. War and killing were never part of their lives." Lemia added, "But don't forget that these two have become adventurers and are on the verge of fighting for this land." The king said, "I will take full responsibility." Tai Chi and Rin returned to their room. Rin told him, "Knowing who summoned us here is a step forward for us." Alcina entered and told them, "Someone wants to speak with you." Queen Charlotte entered and said, "I'm sorry. The truth is, I was the one who summoned you. I am a time-space mage capable of manipulating time and space. Against my will, when I summoned you, I placed you in a monster-infested area. I spent a long time searching for you, all because of my weakness." Alcina told her, "No, this isn't your fault. You were just following Gilmar's orders. I know how much you suffered because of this until you cast the spell." The queen replied, "No, we wanted to save our people. I felt that emotion strongly and decided to fulfill my natural duty as a queen. I created the summoning spell with great detail to target a life form that met all the right conditions, someone capable of learning magic, conveying intentions, and understanding our language." Tai Chi said, "So that's why Rin and I matched the conditions perfectly?" The queen answered, "No, only you, Tai Chi. To be honest, when I was performing the summoning, the younger brother's assassins had already infiltrated. I thought I had been cautious, keeping people away and preventing anyone from entering, but the magic went wild, and I lost control." Tai Chi asked, "How can we return?" The queen answered, "A summoning spell can only be cast once in a lifetime. I know I can't apologize enough for you to forgive me, but I have no way to send you back. But please, believe me, when this rebellion ends and peace returns to our land, I will find a way to send you back to your world, even if it costs me my life." Tai Chi told her, "Raise your head." Rin said, "We believe you. I know you struggled before you could admit this to us. I wish we had met earlier." Tai Chi added, "Yes, we were close to getting killed. Our power is practically a cheat. But more importantly, since we arrived here, we have met invaluable friends. Rin and I want to protect them, and that's the same feeling you have about protecting your country. In that case, let's end this fight quickly. Going back can wait." Lemia entered and told Tai Chi, "Come out quickly." She took him to an arena where General Sumala stood and said, "It seems His Majesty Gilmar holds your power in high regard, but I want to see its extent myself. That's why I will test your strength personally." She attacked him, and he blocked her sword, stepping back. She attacked again, saying, "You're supposed to be much stronger than me, right?" Rin asked Lemia, "Was this your idea?" Lemia replied, "Yes. To the royal army under Sumala's command, Tai Chi and the rest of us are complete outsiders. They highly doubt our combat abilities, so we need to earn their trust quickly." Tai Chi continued his duel with Sumala. He considered summoning Eri but held back, thinking, "No, I'm fighting a person. I might kill her." Instead, he reinforced his body and engaged in close combat with her. Their swords shattered. Alcina told the queen, "I can't believe he's keeping up with our indomitable General Sumala." Sumala thought to herself, "His attacks grow sharper with each exchange. This is the first time I've met a man like this." Tai Chi struck her leg, knocking her to the ground, then slammed his fist beside her head. She said, "I surrender." That night, he sat alone on the rooftop, summoned Eri, and said, "The view is beautiful, so I thought I'd share it with you." Eri said, "I understand you. Something is troubling you." He said, "My power is immense and almost inevitably lethal in battle. It's too brutal." She asked, "Are you afraid of hurting someone again?" He replied, "Yes. Until now, I've only fought monsters. But this time, I'll be fighting people. This is war, and I'll be facing ordinary soldiers. And Rin, I don't want her to hurt anyone. Even if this is another world, I want her to be able to return to her normal high school life when we go back." Meanwhile, Kashim's leader, revealed as Cardinal Ludra, entered Queen Charlotte's room and said, "You're still here? You need rest." She replied, "Understood," and left. The next day, Tai Chi saw Rin watering the flowers and told her, "Lemia is calling us. She wants us to attend the meeting with the royal army." At the same time, Duke Dordesheim was holding a meeting with his soldiers. Marquis Nilgon said, "I think we should launch the first attack. We must strike Winifex immediately." Another Marquis replied, "That's reckless and will cost us our lives." Nilgon responded, "You misunderstand. While we're sitting here, the king's faction is preparing for war, so we can't afford to waste another moment." The Marquis said, "They have a mysterious young man and woman from foreign lands. I heard the man can control spirits. It would be safer to assess their abilities and eliminate them when necessary." Nilgon said, "You're a coward. It's clear that you care more about your life than the fate of our nation." The Marquis countered, "And you're chasing glory in desperation to raise your status and reputation." Duke Dordesheim asked Nilgon, "Do you have a plan?" Nilgon replied, "Of course. I've prepared everything thoroughly, and I will take the capital in one strike." The Duke said, "I'll leave it to you," then added, "What concerns me are the two foreign youths. I hope they won't pose a threat to our army." At the same time, Bella and Sumala reported to the king, "We have received a report that the rebel army is moving its forces." Sumala asked, "How many are there?" Bella replied, "Approximately 1,000. Meanwhile, our army consists of 3,000 knights ready for battle and 6,000 on standby." The king asked, "What about our royal mages?" Bella answered, "We have 300 ready for combat now and 500 in reserve." The king said, "Prepare to deploy them." The queen asked, "And Tai Chi and Rin?" Sumala responded, "They will certainly be placed in our ranks." Sumala then went to Tai Chi and Rin and told them, "The rebel army, led by Marquis Nilgon, will begin their attack the day after tomorrow." Lemia said, 1,000 soldiers? That's a very small number. What are the chances that this is a diversion, or that they plan to attack multiple locations at once?" Sumala answered, "Our scouts have thoroughly searched all fronts but found no additional enemy forces around the royal capital. It seems opinions were divided within the younger brother's faction, so we believe this is their full force." Lemia said, "Why don't we increase the number of our mages slightly, just in case?" Sumala replied, "Understood. That would be more effective during an exchange of fire." Bella said, "No problem, I'll take care of it." Sumala concluded, "Our frontline forces will advance the morning after tomorrow and engage them south of Winifex. Even if the enemy detects our movements and changes course, we'll be able to adapt to the terrain easily." Tai Chi told Rin, "I don't understand anything." She replied, "Me neither." He said, "Makes sense, since we're both amateurs when it comes to war." Miura told them, "But you'll be fine. Just fight as you normally do and follow instructions." Lemia added, "The naive belief that you can win without losses is your greatest enemy on the battlefield. Either you kill, or you are killed." That night, Tai Chi went to Rin's room and said, "I have a message from Lemia. She says you need to rest well because we'll wake up early." Rin said, "This brings back memories. I always got nervous and couldn't sleep before a tennis match. At those times, I'd always think about my opponent and imagine they were just as nervous as I was. I think the same applies to war. I think about the people we're going to fight. I know it's naive, but I wonder if it's normal to kill just because it's a war. It's not as if it's wrong in our world but right in this one." Tai Chi told her, "You don't have to join the battle tomorrow. You heard from Queen Charlotte that you only came to this world because she lost control of her magic. Your presence here is my fault." She replied, "No, it's not your fault. I was the one who chose to jump into the magic circle back then, so I'm here by my own choice. That's why I'll join the battle and fight alongside you." He said, Then I'll protect you no matter what, so don't worry. At the same time, Miura was with Lemia and asked, will Rin be okay? She looked really tense. Lemia said, I said what I said to ignite a fire within them, but we don't need reckless killing. Knowing Taichi and Rin, they'll be able to stay calm, handle the battle, and eliminate the enemy. Miura said, I'll go check on her. Suddenly, Lemia sensed something and ran to the balcony. Someone was watching them from a tree. It was the Marquis who had argued with Nilgon, and he had sent an assassin, saying, kill them in their sleep. We won't let Nilgon take all the glory. The assassin entered the room and stabbed the bed, but when he lifted the blanket, he found only pillows. Taichi entered and said, unfortunately, we noticed you were here. Lemia said, impressed, you managed to infiltrate the palace without being detected. The assassin lunged at Rin, but Taichi pulled her away and struck him, sending him flying. He grabbed him, and as the assassin tried to escape, Taichi held him down. Taichi thought to himself, what I fear most is not hurting others or killing them, but losing the ones I swore to protect. He continued beating the assassin, recalling Anastasia, and thought, this won't happen again. Lemia told him, enough, then asked the assassin, who sent you? But the assassin pushed Taichi away, escaped, bit his tongue, and took his own life. The next day, the enemy army approached. Sumala told Taichi, it's your turn. He summoned Eri and unleashed a gust of wind in front of the enemy forces, splitting the ground. Lemia said, now, the rebel army won't be able to advance without going around the rift, which will make them an easy target for our forces. Sumala added, but something is worrying me. They are far too lightly equipped for an attack on the royal capital. Nilgon told his soldiers, do not waver. Magic is the foundation of our nation, and we all know what will happen if they sell our magic to other countries and allow anyone to use it. Now is the time to show them. The ring on his hand began to glow. Miura said, they're not moving. Suddenly, fireballs formed above them, raining down on the soldiers, followed by massive boulders. Bella said, impossible. They'd need 1,000 royal mages to launch such a long-range attack. Taichi activated his magic sight, looked at them, and said, they're all wearing rings. Lemia said, those are magic stones. A tool that activates spells even for those who can't use magic. Miura said, I can't believe they supplied 1,000 soldiers with such expensive magical tools. Lemia said, I wonder where they got the funding for this. But that's not the scariest part. When you use a magic tool that doesn't match your magical capacity and power, you'll be completely drained. You could say that the magic stone uses the wielder's life force as fuel, and once the fuel runs out, Sumala said, we'll see a massive number of deaths. Bella added, it seems the soldiers don't know much about magic. If they did, they'd realize they're marching to their deaths. Miura said, we have to stop them. One of Sumala's soldiers said, there's no need. This is an opportunity for our army, and we won't even have to bother fighting, they'll destroy themselves. Sumala said, I don't want to just stand by and watch, knowing what awaits them. Bella added, even if we are on opposing sides, they are still citizens of our nation, and surely, the king wouldn't want unnecessary deaths. Lemia said, I have a plan, but I need you, Rin. Rin replied, I'm with you. Nilgon's soldiers kept collapsing one after another. He ordered them to focus their attacks on Rin, Taichi, and Miura. Ariel created a barrier, and Taichi asked, you can do things like this? She replied, it's more like repelling them with wind pressure than creating a real barrier. A rock slipped past, but Miura saved Rin and said, just focus on the spell. Bella's mages unleashed a burst of wind and water. Taichi signaled Rin to use lightning, and the rain poured down on Nilgon and his soldiers, electrocuting them into unconsciousness. Suddenly, a soldier from Duke Dordesheim's forces, named Enimex, appeared behind Nilgon. Nilgon asked, what are you doing here? Enimex replied, the girl created muddy water with the rain and used electricity to paralyze them. It was a tactic to stop us without killing us. Nilgon ordered, wake the soldiers. Enimex said, it's no use until the paralysis wears off. He stepped closer and said, escape is impossible. It seems this is the end. Nilgon said, you fool. You were the one who gave us these magic stones and told me they would bring me glory. Enimex replied, did I? Then he stabbed Nilgon in the stomach and said, your role ends here. The next day, Lemia and Miura came to Taichi and Rin and told them, King Gilmar is summoning us. When they arrived, all eyes were on Taichi, and he overheard people saying, is this the man who split the earth? The king said, your performance yesterday is worthy of praise, and my daughter said she wants to reward you for it. Servants entered carrying various weapons, and Lemia said, these are exquisite artifacts. The king said, they are all rare pieces belonging to the royal family. You may take whatever you like. Miura chose a dagger, Rin found a new staff, and Lemia took a rare magic stone. Taichi chose a sword. The queen told him, that sword was crafted in an eastern island nation because no blacksmith in our country could identify the materials used in its creation or how it was forged. But I have heard that it is a weapon of exceptional quality. He decided to take it. Afterward, he walked through the city and told Eri, I'm being closely watched. He overheard people saying, that's the man who protected this town yesterday. I heard he's an incredible mage summoned by the king. Children gathered around him to greet him. After bidding them farewell, he walked away and waited to be alone before saying, come out. I know you're there. Kashim emerged and said, the hero who defeated the army of the king's younger brother refuses to face someone like me? Taichi asked, what happened to your arm? Kashim replied, why are you asking now? You're the one who blew it off. Taichi remembered when he lost control and unleashed his wind magic on Kashim. Kashim said, the frustration from my defeat never fades, and you didn't even realize what you had done. I will kill you. I will make sure I defeat you and force you to kneel before me. I have every right to do so. Taichi said, if you want to fight, let's do it somewhere else so no one else gets involved. Kashim responded, you're more worried about others than yourself? Look who's pretending to be the perfect hero. Taichi said, I'd rather not fight at all. Kashim replied, you have no right to refuse. I've prepared a plan to poison all the capital's wells if you decline. Now, come with me. At the same time, Rin and Miura were testing their new weapons and training. Rin launched fireballs at Miura, who dodged them and engaged with her dagger. Rin repelled her with wind magic. Miura said, I'm impressed. Thank you for not holding back. Rin replied, of course not. I'm facing you seriously. Miura said, I love that about you. They continued training. Meanwhile, Lemia told Sumala, you've become an excellent general. You planned these maneuvers to ease the soldiers' fears, didn't you? Sumala replied, I'll never surpass you, Falling Leaves Witch. I received a report that Duke Dordesheim and his forces have reformed to about 60% of their strength. I think we'll head out at night, but I don't know how many of our soldiers will make it back to the royal capital safely. At the same time, Taichi followed Kashim to the location where they would fight. Kashim said, we will fight here, but at this rate, I have no chance of defeating you, so I will limit your power. This is a magic tool that will bring your magical power down to the same level as mine. Once I use it, we will be equal. Eri told Taichi, I have a bad feeling about this tool. Kashim said, finally, it's time. If not for the difference in our levels, we would never have lost. Taichi asked, and what makes you so sure of that? If our power is equal, neither of us will have an advantage. Kashim scoffed, idiot. If our power is equal, hard work will be the deciding factor. Unfortunately, that's something a naturally talented person like you lacks. Taichi asked, you think I don't work hard? Kashim said, of course not. Do you have any idea how hard I've worked? Never compare your efforts to mine. Taichi replied, I see. Eri warned, Taichi, don't. What if your magical power never returns? He ignored her and told Kashim, I will fight you seriously without relying on my tricks. Kashim activated the magic tool, and Taichi began with wind magic. Kashim leaped, came down with his dagger, but Taichi blocked it with his sword. Taichi said, you think you'll defeat me with that dagger? Kashim shoved him back, and Taichi fired wind shots at him, but Kashim dodged and retaliated with ice bullets. Taichi jumped, and Kashim conjured water spheres, but they missed. Taichi dashed forward, knocked the dagger from Kashim's hand, and kicked him away. Kashim fired more water spheres, while Grami observed the fight. They exchanged punches until exhaustion set in. Kashim said, we'll finish this with the next attack. He raised his hand and gathered his energy into an orb. Taichi thought, I don't have enough strength left. How can I defeat him with my remaining power? He recalled when Rin told him to imagine his magic manifesting in front of him. Gripping his sword, he faced Kashim, who launched a massive water sphere at him. Taichi drew his sword, unleashing magical energy that split the water sphere and sent Kashim crashing into the wall. Kashim said, I admit defeat. Eri appeared and said, return Taichi's power immediately. Kashim told Taichi, break the magic tool. Suddenly, a strange, dark aura emerged from the tool. Taichi fired wind magic at it, splitting it apart, but it reformed. It launched energy needles at Taichi, but Grami appeared and saved him. Kashim told her, destroy the tool. He attacked the creature to distract it while Grami hurled her sword at the tool, shattering it. Taichi's power returned, but the creature did not disappear. Kashim thought to himself, why is this happening? Did Lord Ludra plan for this? Taichi asked Eri to use the surrounding air pressure on his sword, then unleashed its energy on the creature, making it vanish. At sunset, they heard the sound of bells ringing in the city. Taichi asked a vendor, "What's happening?" The vendor replied, "The rebel army has declared war. The battle has finally begun." That night, Ludra spoke to his leader, and she asked him, "Did Taichi split the creature inside the tool with light?" He answered, "Yes." She said, "You're quite devious. You definitely knew this would happen." He replied, "I gave him the magic tool just as I was asked." "It's hard to refuse a request from a valuable subordinate, isn't it?" She said, "Indeed." He told her, "The preparations are complete." She said, "Then go and fulfill your true desire." The next day, Duke Dortsham asks Einmix, "Do you think we will win?" Einmix replies, "The Marquis and his followers will personally ensure dealing with the falling leaves witch, the elf, and the foreign girl." The Duke says, "Yes." That leaves the little summoner. Einmix replies, "His power is still unknown, but I have already prepared a strategy." The Duke says, "Impressive, Einmix. I am lucky to have a first assistant like you." Me. Einmix tells him, "Probably both." The Duke says, "I couldn't ask for more. It is time to achieve my desire for the safety and progress of our nation," and Einmix lets out a sly laugh. At the same time, King Gilmar tells his soldiers, "My younger brother Dortsham has rejected the settlement and declared rebellion. He is now pointing his sword at the country and the people he is supposed to protect. Do you accept this?" They all say, "No." He jumps to the enemy's land and says, "I always feel like I'm cheating," then unleashes wind upon them. At the same time, the leader of Lodra tells him, "It seems the battle has finally begun." He replies, "Yes, and everything is going according to plan." She asks, "Do you think he will make use of the power I gave him?" He replies, "I am certain of that." She says, "I'm eager to see how he overcomes this game." Meanwhile, a woman named Susura tells Rin, "You're the witch they failed to kill before. My employer told me to come and finish you this time. As you can see, I am a heavy warrior, and my adventurer rank is A." Rin thinks to herself, she's like Grammy, enjoying the fight, then says, "I am Rin, and my rank is S." Susura says, "That's a very weak rank." Rin responds, "But my rank recently increased. Are you dissatisfied with facing someone lower rank than you?" Susura replies, "No, it will be an interesting fight," and then lunges at her. Then attacks him. Meanwhile, Lemia uses the Medusa enclosure technique, restraining the soldiers and pressing them down with magic. She tells them, "I will not kill you because you are still citizens of Elistan. I will only prevent you from moving." He tells her, "This is disruption magic. It's a spell I use when facing an opponent at my level. I am Mistopholos. Make your decision now." Einmix's magic spreads outward and starts entering the bodies of the fallen soldiers. At the same time, Lemia tells Mistopholos, "We are exhausting ourselves." He replies, "You're right. It's time for me to finish my job," and he fires ice shots at her. She uses fire to block them, so he casts wind magic at her. She creates a shield and deflects it, then uses the wind stab technique, striking him. Blood drips from his mouth. She tells him, "I doubt you've seen this before. It's a technique I just created now," and asks, "Do you have any last words?" He replies, "No." She then forms a massive fireball. He is shocked that she created it without chanting the spell, and then she detonates it. At the same time, the Marquis tells Miura, "He wasn't as skilled as he claimed after costing me a fortune." She replies, "Is that what you have to say about your fallen comrade?" He says, "Why should I grieve for a hired adventurer's death?" Miura gets angry and uses the enchanted sword, exploding fire beast. She thinks to herself, "I'm sure Lemia would scold me if she saw me using." At the same time, the Duke tells Taichi, "I reject your offer. Can you tell me one thing? If you really have the power to destroy nations, why are you letting Gilmar use you? Why not be the king yourself?" Taichi replies, "Because it's bothersome. If I became king, I'd have enormous responsibilities. I'd lose sleep because of ruling, managing the economy, and diplomacy." The Duke asks, "Why not rule as you wish? Being a dictator is an option too." Taichi replies, "Impossible. Why would I burden myself just to make people hate me? There's no real life in forcing peoples. Things would have been vastly different. But sometimes, those with power must achieve something, even if it means making a great sacrifice, even if it means spilling the blood of many innocent citizens, and even if history remembers me as a fool. There is something I must protect with my pride and soul." Taichi asks, "So you have no intention of backing down?" The Duke replies, "I have dedicated." At the same time, Susura tells Rin, "You're stronger than I expected, but you won't defeat me if you only defend." Rin thinks to herself, "My opponent relies on a fighting style based on strength and speed. Miura was with me when I fought Grammy, but she is the complete opposite of me in combat." Susura jumps, and Rin fires a fireball at her. Susura creates a magic circle beneath her feet, jumps again, touches it, but her leg gets injured. She then fires ice and uses the fire rain technique, severely wounding Susura. The Duke asks, "What do you mean?" Aniclimax says, "I have served as your assistant for years, but I have never seen you as my lord for even a moment. I have only one master, and she is a woman, the only one. The supreme being who watches over the entire world." Tai Chi recalls the dragon's warning. Aniclimax says, "This spell consumes a person's heart and devours their mind. Those under its effect become berserk, immune to fear and pain, fighting and seeking bloodshed until their bodies rot." The Duke asks, "Why are you doing this?" Aniclimax replies, "Because my lady commanded it. She ordered me to start a civil war and force the young man from the other world to be involved in it. Personally, I couldn't care less about this country's future. The one who did this must have used a mind control technique, and that's not a magical element. This is dark magic carried by a shadowy entity. If we don't eliminate the caster who activated the spell, we won't be able to break it. Until then, these soldiers will remain emotionless, impervious to pain, and thirsty for bloodshed and killing. If we don't stop them, they'll march toward the royal capital." At the same time, Tai Chi uses a tornado to push the zombies away. The Duke tells Tai Chi, "She started this war to put you in this situation." He then says, "The situation is ironic. I can tell exactly what my brother Gilmar is thinking right now. He will order to stop them, even if it costs us our entire army, even if we have to sacrifice every citizen in Alistan. I have destroyed our nation in my attempt to protect it. History will surely remember me as a villain." Tai Chi replies, "In that case, we must stop them here." He summons Ariel's power and thinks to himself, "If I must live with this power, then I want to use it to protect those dear to me and my friends. If I have the strength to destroy a nation, then I will turn it into a strength that saves a nation. Sometimes, those with power must achieve something, even if it requires a great sacrifice. Those were your words, and I will do it." Ariel becomes concerned, so he tells her, "I finally understand what it means to accept a power greater than yourself." He then thinks to himself, "I'm sorry, Rin, but this is for your protection," and raises his sword. Ariel screams and stops time. He tells her, "Step aside, Ariel. This is all my fault." She replies, "No, you're not the one to blame. This is my mistake." He asks, "What do you mean?" She says, "I'm sorry, Tai Chi. I've been lying to you. This form of mine is only temporary. Your power is so incredible that it scared me, and I don't know what will happen to you if I give you my true power. If you fail to control it, it will cause disaster and might even kill you. Now it's my turn to become my true self. Summon me again, and my true name is..." And then she disappears. Rin arrives and sees Tai Chi's injury. He tells her, "I promise I will protect everyone," then says, "Summon element." Sylphid, as his hand glows. He destroys the magic circle, and the soldiers regain their consciousness. Lemia says, "Impossible. I have lived for many years, but this is the first time I've seen something like this. Watch carefully, Miura. This is the birth of a new summoner." Sylphid appears and tells Tai Chi, "This is the first time I have shown myself to you in this form. Call me Sylphie from now on." Susura says, "That's Sylphid, the Queen of Spirits and one of the 4 great spirits." Tai Chi asks her, "Did Eri disappear?" She replies, "No. My memories and emotions from when I was Eri still remain in my heart." At the same time, Aniclimax transforms into a demon and flies into the sky. Tai Chi flies after him and asks, "What is your goal? Who is the woman you speak of?" Aniclimax replies, "She is the woman who rules the world," and attacks him, but Tai Chi easily stops him and pushes him back. Aniclimax tells him, "You must realize who she is first. You have heard the spirits since your birth. Why do you think you were summoned to this world? Because that woman chose you. Everything that led you to this moment was orchestrated by her. Even the queen who summoned you was merely a pawn in her hands to fulfill this purpose. When the time is right, the great battle will begin, and the world will be turned upside down. When that happens, light and darkness will reverse, and she will appear as our salvation. That's why you were chosen. This world, Altia, needs the ultimate weapon to continue existing, and you were selected to be that woman's shield and sword." Tai Chi asks, "Who is this person you keep mentioning?" Aniclimax replies, "It is not yet time for you to know her name." Tai Chi says, "That's nonsense. Who do you think I am?" He charges at Aniclimax with a powerful punch to his face and says, "I will not accept this," and they engage in a fast-paced battle. Tai Chi ends the fight with a devastating punch that sends Aniclimax crashing to the ground, then uses Sylphid's power to strike him down with lightning. The soldiers return to their city. Tai Chi wakes up from unconsciousness, and the queen enters his room, telling him, I'm so happy that you're safe. He thinks to himself, despite the many losses on both sides, the battle ended with King Jilmar's victory. The town and the capital returned to normal, and we were rewarded with generous prizes. We were granted the title of Royal Army Consultants, placing us in the ranks of the Royal Army as special forces who are summoned whenever the kingdom is in danger. With that, peace was restored once again to the Alistan Magic Kingdom. Later, the king visits his brother's prison cell and asks, "Do you have any last words?" The Duke replies, "I did what had to be done, and I regret nothing," and he is executed. The next day, Tai Chi is alone on the balcony when Lemia enters and asks, "You're not seriously thinking that you should have handled the situation better, are you?" He replies, "Yes." She tells him, "Stop acting like a child. Humans aren't perfect. But those with greater power than ordinary people will be forced to make difficult decisions from time to time. What you chose and what you didn't choose in those moments is the burden you must accept. Stay true to your heart, doubt, worry, face problems, and grow to become better." Afterward, they go to the queen, who tells Tai Chi and Rin, "I promise to return you to your world one day." Rin tells her, "We're counting on you, but don't strain yourself." Tai Chi says, "I have come to love my life here, and we have dear friends." Then, they set off toward the town of Esbear.